Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for stopping by today. Today I am super excited to be here with the entire new holiday release from Essentials by Ellen. This is the ellenhudson.com exclusive line here, and I've got some beauties here. I'm doing a little happy dance because these are some of my favorite stamps and dies. I wanted to walk you through the entire release before I walk you through the project, and I actually have 2 video tutorials today and several projects over on my blog, so be sure to hop on over there. So first up is the Season to Sparkle stamp set. I love all of these faceted they kind of remind me of jewels or gems, these images here. You have this circle up here. It could be an ornament. You could use it for other things as well. It could be a sun, but that "'tis the season to sparkle" sentiment has got to be one of my favorites. And of course, there's coordinating dies with that. This is the Antlers die. This is a standalone die, and I love this because I think it's so much fun. You could cut it out and put antlers on anything that you may already have. So like die cuts or stamped images, I think it would be super fun. Now, some of my favorite dies from the Essentials by Ellen line are the ones that are Julie's handwriting. This is the Believe script die. She's also released several that say like awesome and totally fabulous, and they are some of my favorites because I love the intricacy of these dies, and this cuts beautifully. I actually have a project over at my blog, so be sure to check that out. So next up here, I have this Leaping Deer die. Now, I love this one because of its scale. A lot of the reindeer dies that I see are very, very small, but I think this one is prominent enough to be the focal image on your card, and I think there's a lot of things you can do with it, and who doesn't love a good reindeer? Now, here are the holiday words dies. We have joy, peace, and love. I think it would be really fun to put a heart in the middle of this joy. I love the big, bold letters, and I love, do you see here how they're all connected? So it's not separate words. They're all connected. You cut it out. It's one big piece. Now, this love die you could use year round, and I think it would be fun to line this up along the bottom of or the top of a piece of cardstock and do a partial die cutting technique to where just that word was cut from the top of the cardstock, but not out of the cardstock. Does that make sense? Kind of an overhang. Here are the bird shapes. Once again, these dies are really versatile. That dove on the bottom kind of feels very holiday, but the one at the top seems like you could use it year round. And then there is the Geo Tree. Now, I think this big triangle here could be used to build an entire background, and you could even mix in some of the ones that are faceted. This would also go really good with that "'tis the season to sparkle" sentiment that I showed you in the first one. Now, if you guys are ready for kind of a non-traditional stamp set, this set is for you. This is the Fat Pants stamp set. It's huge, by the way. There are all these little images down here where you could build up a snowman or a Santa Claus, or some of those images you could actually use to decorate the ornaments. I think it would be a lot of fun to do this in some bright colors, some non-traditional holiday colors, and really make a fun card using this. And look at these sentiments. Hold on to your baubles. And I love the script of that, but seriously, you guys, get your fat pants ready. It's Christmas. I mean, we all know what it's like to be there. And Julie just put it into a stamp for us. So thank you, Julie, for doing that. Of course, there's the coordinating dies there. Fun to cut out like a snowman or a Santa Claus with those. This homespun holiday is by Brandy. And I have to tell you, I love the images. This wreath actually is like, I love it. I think I could put some sequins in there. I love these fonts. I love this sentiment at the bottom that says it's not what's under the tree, it's that counts, it's who's around it. And I think that's so true. And I just really love the hand-drawn look of all of these images. And I love this little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I think it would be fun to put some things on that. And then, of course, there are the coordinating dies. Did you see that little popcorn strand? How fun would that be to die cut and kind of place over that tree? So moving on, we have the Light Parade stamp set. This is also by Brandy. She has that really fun, like hand-sketched look. There's a little neighborhood here at the bottom, some pile in the car, love these lights. These would be good not only for card making, but also for things like Project Life or scrapbooking, because those sentiments there, I think, really lend themselves to memory keeping. Now, finally, we have the Tree Farm stamp set. And I mean, I love this trailer. Keep your eye out over at the Classroom blog because I have a feeling there will be a project featuring this trailer. But there's also some fun images and critters in here. Now, these critters could be used all year round, but there are also some fun things that they can hold, like cups of hot chocolate and the thermos. There's also that little, I think it's a squirrel holding or a chipmunk holding that sign. So much fun. And you could stamp those sentiments inside. But that trailer, I love it. I can't wait. It's going to be like an aqua blue trailer when I create it. I just know it. So now let's get into our project for today. I am using the My Favorite Things Wonky Stitch oval die to cut out some Neenah Solar White cardstock. And I love the little stitching detail that you get with this. And this is going to serve as the base for my little scene that I'm going to create. And I have a piece of scrap wood cardstock. Now this is actual wood paper here. It's a lot of fun to work with, and today I'm going to be doing some embossing on it. So what I've done is I've prepped the surface just like I would with any cardstock with some EK Success powder tool, and now I'm taking that faceted deer and I'm just stamping it onto the corner there. I'm going to end up cutting this out, so it really doesn't matter that this is a scrap. And I'm going to sprinkle on some Wow Rich Pale Gold Detail Embossing Powder. This is absolutely my new favorite gold embossing powder. It has this softness to it that I just can't describe. It's nothing like the other gold embossing powders that I own, and I just love it. So now I am heat setting this, and you can see I'm putting heat to it and then pulling it away so that I don't warp the wood too much. And once I get that heat embossed, I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut this out in my Big Shot. Now, I wanted to kind of draw some attention to some of these facets here, but I didn't want to add any color or anything, and I was kind of having trouble with some of the markers that I used on it bleeding. So what I've done is I've just taken a Versamark pen and colored some of those in. So some of those facets are darker and some of them are just that natural wood color. Now I've also taken a border die. I believe this is a Lawn Fawn border die, and I've just cut some EK Success or Inka-Dinka-Doo stamp masking paper with that die, and now I'm just laying it onto my oval and gently blending on some tumbled glass distress ink. I want a very faint line, just kind of the hint of snowdrifts on the background. So now I'm also taking the coordinating dies here. I wanted a solid tree instead of like the hollow tree that's in the stamp set. It's kind of an outline tree and not a solid tree. So what I've done is I've just taken some craft foam and the coordinating die, and I've cut it out of that white craft foam, and then I've temporarily adhered it with some tape runner adhesive to my stamp block. And I was so surprised. I'm stamping this in the Hero Arts Moss Hybrid ink. These stamped really well. I've seen this technique before, but I've never tried it, and I was super pleased with how these turned out. I used that same coordinating die to go ahead and cut these out, and now I am mounting them onto that background piece that I have. Now I'm going to use some different depths of adhesive here. So I'm using some tape runner adhesive on a couple of them so that they appear further back. And then for this one that kind of sits towards the front, I'm going to use some foam adhesive on the back of that. And that just creates some depth. Now here I have some multi-medium in the matte finish, and you see how I just, this is why I use the precision tip, but I was wanting to get more out of it than what the precision tip would allow me to do. And then you saw me put that whole big glob of multi-medium matte onto my background. It's okay. I went ahead and spread it out using my craft pick, and then I wiped off my craft pick so that it wouldn't settle on there or dry on there. And then I sprinkled on some Ranger Rock Candy Stickles. This is the dry stickles glitter. And that's going to just dry up there. That multi-medium is going to have a little bit of dimension to it. So you're going to have kind of just this really soft snowbank look. Now, for my sentiment, I am embossing that "'Tis the Season to Sparkle" in that Rich Pale Gold embossing powder, and I'm embossing it on some vellum. I went ahead and prepped the surface of that, and now I am heat embossing that. And I love the font on the sentiment, and I thought it would be fun to kind of do something a little bit different with the sentiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my trimmer and let the bottom of the word hang past my cut line. And I'm going to take my blade just up to the edge of that word. I'm going to skip over the letters that hang down, and then I'm going to complete my cut to the other edge. So I've picked up my blade and skipped to the other side of those letters. So I kind of have a partial cut here. And then I'm going to finish that cut by trimming around those letters that hang down. Just kind of gives you something a little bit different. And it also takes up a little less visual space because you don't have to account for the bottom of those letters on your vellum piece. Now, I wanted my little reindeer, of course, to be Rudolph. And so what I've done is I've just taken one of these Hero Arch gems and I've colored it with a Copic marker. And I'm attaching it to the nose of my reindeer using a little bit of multi-medium matte. Since those Hero Art gems are kind of in this line of adhesive, I thought it would be fun to add some to the trees in the background as well. So I'm just leaving them on the little line of adhesive that they come on. I'm putting them on the tree and then I'm trimming them off. I also went ahead and trimmed a few apart and kind of sprinkled them over one of those trees as well. And then I did another couple lines of those gems on the third tree that's on the far left there. So now that I've got the trees all decorated, the background has my snow on it, I'm going to go ahead and adhere down my little reindeer, and I've put him on a double layer of foam adhesive so that he would be at the forefront of my scene there. And I went ahead and attached that sentiment strip kind of coming out from that oval as well. For my card base, I am using the Craft wood grain cardstock from the Essentials by Ellen line. And I am going to simply finish this card off. I trimmed a little bit off of that oval. I have to say, maybe I wish I hadn't have done that. But here is the finished card project. I just added a strip of basil peppermint cardstock across the bottom. And then I did go back and add the tiniest strip of gold glitter cardstock under that sentiment. Now, as I mentioned before, there are several new projects over on my blog today featuring this new Essentials by Ellen Holiday 2016 release. And this project is also part of the Holiday 2016 release blog hop. So be sure you head on over to my blog for more inspiration, information, and a giveaway as well. As always, I will have links to all the products used in this project over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, where you can also see more still shots, and I will have links to the featured supplies in the description at YouTube. Don't forget to check out the other video tutorial that I've posted today here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.